Hi friends, welcome to my kitchen. Today on How to Cook, we will be making some fun Asian fusion tacos. I love making this for dinner parties. It's quick, easy, and super delicious, and it only takes 25 minutes. Before we begin, check out the list of ingredients needed for today's recipe on the right side of your screen or in the description below. You want to start the night before by marinating your steaks. I picked up some really nice short rib steaks from Costco. Look for something that has really good marbling and fat. You want your steaks to be about ½ inch thick. Mine were a little bit on the thicker side today, so I just split them in half. After you have your steak prepped and ready, you want to pour a generous amount of marinade over it. I'm using my favorite Korean Kalbi marinade. It's sweet, savory, and has tons of flavor, absolutely perfect for steaks and meats. Homemade Kalbi marinade takes a little bit extra time and effort, but it's totally worth making sometimes. I've found that over the years that this marinade can be just as good and is a huge time saver. My go-to Kalbi marinade is by CJ Foods. You can typically find this brand in large Asian grocery markets. If you don't see this brand, go ahead and pick up whatever Kalbi marinade they have in hand. I've also been seeing them, the Kalbi marinades pop up in the Asian grocery aisles in larger, just regular grocery chains. So if you don't have an Asian market, feel free to look for something at your local grocery store. Let the marinade do its magic overnight, and when you're ready to cook the meat, remove it from the fridge 30 minutes prior to cooking. This will get the steaks up to room temperature and ensure a more even cook and sear. As the steaks are getting up to room temperature, it's time to prep some of the toppings for the fusion tacos. Start by mixing in equal parts rice vinegar with sugar in a microwave-safe bowl for about 45 seconds. You want to make sure the sugar is completely dissolved, and once that is done, stick it in the fridge. This will help cool down the vinegar mixture. One note and tip is that the vinegar is extremely potent, so don't inhale too deeply. Now grab your English garden cucumber, slice it into thin round slices. I like splitting them in half and doing half circles. I'll typically use half a cucumber for this recipe, and then I'll also slice up a red onion into thin slivers. Chop the onion in half, remove the ends, and then slice into thin slices. Again, you can add as much or as little onions to the salad as you like. I like mine with a little bit less onions, but feel free to add more if you want. Now we'll set that aside, and do not pour the vinegar and sugar mixture into the cucumber until 5 minutes prior to serving. You don't want to over pickle your cucumbers, and you want your cucumber salad to be nice and crunchy. You can serve the tacos with just the cucumber toppings, but I like to add some cabbage. I'm using a salad kit that I found at Costco that has cabbage, carrots, celery, and cilantro. This is my lazy, quick way of prepping for a quick meal. But if you don't have the salad kit, just go ahead and pick up a standard slaw salad kit that has pre-assembled or chopped veggies. I like to mix the cabbage with a standard sesame ginger dressing that I found in my local grocery store in the salad dressing aisle, and I'll also cut up a lime wedges for my tacos. A pro tip is to cut the lime directly in half with the tips of the lime facing the outside before slicing the wedges. You'll get these perfect taco wedges. Once you are ready to cook the meat, heat up a large flat skillet or pan on high. Make sure you have a lid that can fit over the pan. Get the skillet nice and hot before adding the steaks. Add the steaks into the pan and then immediately cap it. I like to also throw in a little bit of some of the marinade juices, but you don't want to overcrowd or pour in a ton of liquid. We want to create a nice sear and cook on this steak and char. So go ahead and add your steaks and then cap it immediately. As the steak is cooking, grab your vinegar and cucumbers from the fridge and then pour the vinegar over the cucumbers. This little salad is super sweet, vinegary, and super crunchy. It's a great topping for fusion tacos. and I would highly recommend it. It's just even a fun side. After 2 to 3 minutes of the steak cooking, remove the cap and give the steaks a nice flip. You want every single side of the steak to be nice and charred. On another burner, get a large pan warmed up to heat up some of your taco shells. I'm just using a simple flour tortilla shell. If you want to use corn or something else, feel free to do that. As your tortilla shells are getting warmed up, also keep an eye on your steak. You'll want to flip the steaks again. You'll also start noticing the sugar and the marinade start to caramelize and create a nice crust around the steak. You want to keep an eye out on this. You want to make sure that it doesn't burn. If it does start smoking or getting darker and kind of black, you want to pour a little bit of water in just to kind of dilute that. You don't want to overcrowd the pan with too much of the marinade sauce or liquid. It'll kind of prevent the steaks to kind of form this nice crust. The steak should only take 7 minutes to fully cook for a medium rare finish. If you need something that's a little bit more well done, a little bit longer than 7 minutes. Make sure to add some water into the steak pan after you're done with cooking the steak so that you can avoid scrubbing your pan later. Let your steaks rest for about 1 to 2 minutes, and then you can start assembling your tacos. Once the steaks are well rested, you want to slice the steak into long strips or cubes, and then add them to your taco shells and top it off with some slaw, cucumbers, and then even cheese. And there you have it, super easy, delicious Asian fusion tacos. I love making these for dinner parties, and everyone who's ever had this kind of Asian fusion taco has always loved it. It makes for an extremely easy and quick weekday meal, all under 30 minutes. If you have any leftover steaks, it's also super good over rice with some veggies. Again, this makes for a super easy and delicious meal during the weekday. If you like this video, please feel free to share, like, and subscribe to my channel. Let me know what you think in the comments below, and happy cooking!